Wake up, Adam, they are getting close.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and I'm glad that I think it worked this time. So thank you, guys. Again, yesterday when we went live, it actually went to a second live, and everybody got lost. So thank you guys for making it tonight. This is Marfoogle TV. So we're going to be talking about all of the current events. And again, I am down decks until Friday. So we're going to talk about all of the different stuff that's going on. This is going to be a quicker show with a lot packed in. But that also needs to be said that normally we have a full bibliography of every single article, tweet, video, picture, document over on the website. That, if it will be updated, will be done on Friday. Last night's show and today's show, the full bibliography will be underneath the actual show in the comments. Last night's comment somehow did not get posted, so I will repost that on last night's show. So first of all, New York crane catches fire and partially collapses on Manhattan high-rise. There's some pretty crazy photos of this, and this is, of course, New York crane. And it made me think, and I'm sure that this is not the same owners, but a story about 3 months ago that talked about how it was like 60 or 70% of our port cranes, which is different, had some sort of backdoor from another country in it. I guess I don't know how this happens. I guess it's a mechanical error. Again, there's more and more coming out of. Yeah, I'm sure they'll do a full investigation. But the crane collapsed, and the pictures are pretty nuts. It actually, here's a PepsiCo sign, and it's actually collapsed past it. And then here is it collapsed all the way down the street. Pretty nuts, to say the least. So that is again something that just happened. It says a large crane on a high-rise building caught fire and partially collapsed in New York City on Wednesday morning. Authorities say 2 firefighters and at least 9 civilians, including construction workers, passerby, and others, suffered minor injuries when the fire broke out around 7:30 a.m. The crane is on a building under construction located at 10th Avenue West and 41st Street. Officials say that the building is about 45 stories high. Photos and videos posted on social media showed flames bursting from the engine compartment of the crane hundreds of feet above street level. The crane was carrying 16 tons of concrete, and as the fire burned, it weakened the cable holding up the concrete until the cable gave way. What's really trippy about this is a story happened here in Seattle where I am, and a crane actually, similar situation, I don't know if it was a fire, but a crane was attached to the side of the building, ended up coming off, and some random guy was sitting in his office, and the crane came through the window in another high-rise, and it ended up taking his life. It was absolutely nuts. I mean, they're saying that this whole chef thing was a freak accident. I would say that getting crushed by a rogue crane, that is a freak accident. Absolutely nuts. So that is what I think of when I think of this. But I also wonder, how does this kind of thing happen? They're supposed to investigate these things after the Seattle incident. They said that essentially the inspections, a lot of the times, if they were in a hurry or if they were trying to build a building very quickly, which I assume they probably do in New York, especially New York, where they go, can we cut a corner here or there? We need to get this building up. We need to start making money. Again, of the New York, the home of the $9 trillion GDP. What is it, like 4 times the GDP of all of Russia? And so I just wonder if there was any corners cut. It says, as you can see from the debris on the street, this could have been much worse. Eric Adams, the mayor, noting that the street at that hour of the morning is often filled with pedestrians. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, of course, the UFO stuff that happened today. The trial that essentially did not finalize with the president's son. Said the judge was very wary because there was supposedly another investigation going on. We are also going to talk about Harvard basically letting people slide right through if they pay enough money. It's kind of like a big no, you know what I mean. And then we're going to talk about Russia, China, and even some stuff from their angle. We're also going to talk about Mitch McConnell freezing and getting escorted off the stage like a geriatric. So we'll talk about that as well. Before we do, just stick around. We'll be right back right after this. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough. All right. What is going on, guys? It's Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, we have a lot on the docket, so we'll fly through this. It's probably going to be a 30-minute show with a ton of news, because I have thoroughly gone through a lot of this and tried to pick out the most important stuff. The UFO story, we'll talk about that, and actually, I don't believe it loaded, so I'll load that up, but I know enough about it where I can talk about it pretty well without it. But as far as the UFO stuff, we'll talk about that in a bit. The Department of Education investigating Harvard over legacy admissions practices. This is like the most, the biggest no you could ever have, because honestly, everyone has known forever that these skull and bone schools or these legacy, schools, they basically, you donate enough money, you will get through Harvard. Or if you donate enough money, you get into Harvard. They are essentially saying, and this is, again, this has been known forever. Everybody knows that the people that were born with a spoon in their mouth, if you donate enough to the right people, you will get into Harvard. And if you get a Harvard degree, you pretty much are set up. Unless you really do something wrong, you're set up on some sort of track. It says Harvard University is being investigated by the Department of Education regarding their legacy admissions process. The famous university is facing the investigation under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act following a complaint filed by Lawyers for Civil Rights Boston. It says the Office for Civil Rights can confirm that there is an open investigation on Harvard University under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It says we do not comment on open investigations. It says Lawyers for Civil Rights Boston asserted in their complaint that, quote, legacy and donor admissions unfairly benefit white students. So this is the angle they're going at. And just want to remind you, if you are going to reset the system, you're going to have to break down all of the parts that are currently set up. Now, this whole thing against a certain type of people, in this case, it's like, well, yeah, this is a no-duh. Nearly 70% of Harvard's donor-related and legacy applicants are white, and they receive a substantial boost based on their status, or at least that's what they're claiming. The group wrote of the complaint, donor-related applicants are nearly 7 times more likely to be admitted than non-donor-related applicants, and legacies are nearly 6 times more likely to be admitted. It says there's no birthright to Harvard, as the Supreme Court recently noted. Eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. Sorry, personally, I think that it is a issue not of color. It may have been at some point. I think it is an issue of money. And statistically, the people that basically put up the most money get their kids through school. We know of several people that have gone through that school, which essentially over history, even documentaries about their life, that their parents basically were able to donate to a cause or donate to a part of the school, open up a gym, and then boom, they're in like Flint. So this is something that goes on not only at Harvard and Ivy League schools, but any school. They all do this. If you know the right person and if you pay their pocket, then it's a done deal. There have been many teachers, not teachers, I guess the not principals, whatever they call the leaders of the Ivy League school, and I'm forgetting it right now. There have been cases where they get caught on the side taking money to admit people. And it's like, you think that Harvard wasn't doing this? First of all, again, this whole system, it seems like it is kind of falling apart. It's kind of funny, though, because the last 10 years, isn't it funny that at the same time, people do not really trust degrees anymore, especially since the kind of big thing of the internet. A lot of people don't even trust experts that get Ivy League degrees and things now. So is that on purpose? Is this some sort of underlying thing that they're doing to our society to screw us up? I don't know. But it was kind of like a no-duh scenario when they said that certain people and legacies are getting, put in more than other people. Yeah, no crap. Thank you, Sean Morgan. Thank you for gifting out 5 memberships to random folks in the audience. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that, and thank you for the support, and thank you for supporting independent. If you want to, in the chat real quick, if you want to pop in and do a roll call, where are you from and where are you watching from? Nice to see all of you here. It looks like we see now you see me, now you don't. Peaceful Warrior Debbie, hey, nice to see you. Mirror 504, old school Foogle fam. We've got Dirk Rothrock, hey, nice to see you. Falling apart like everything else, exactly. It's kind of funny though too. Harvard has Avi Loeb and the other gentleman that a few years ago when they first came out and said that they were in support of Oumuamua being an alien ship. Everybody's like, a Harvard professor is actually saying this? Well, I guess Harvard's not exactly what it used to be anyways. It says Bill Fortenberry, but it will still get you into Skull and Bones. Let's see here. Star Mark Birchinek, Salmon Grundy, and if I say your name wrong, I'm sorry. Solar Monk 1, we've got Deborah Witt, Dan P, KT Cleans a lot, hey. Darth V, R. Smith, John Ryan, The Forgiven Wretch, Carolyn Knight Vivlin from Texas. We got Carolyn Knight from Kansas. We've got DJ Nazi from Boston. I'm assuming you heard about all of this. And then is Squirrel, Illinois, and Eric Ibu Elliott. What is happening? Okie Khan, Timothy. And thank you for your mods. Make sure to drop an M in the chat for all of the great mods. We've got Jammer 1 in the house. We got Rip Curl. Hey, Rip. Nice to see you, man. Let's see here. And then I'm sure we will have more popping in as we go. Thank you, Phil D-Roll and Bobby Brown. All right, and then 3 Marines. I thought this was a little strange. 3, and it may either way. Rest in peace to these 3 Marines. Found perished in car of carbon monoxide poisoning in North Carolina. It says 3 Marine Lance Corporals from Camp Lejeune found perished in a vehicle Sunday morning outside of a North Carolina store, and they perished of carbon monoxide poisoning. It says deputies found the bodies around 9 a.m. Sunday in the parking lot of a Hampstead convenience store, about 1 hour from the military training facility. So one thing I don't get this isn't like I've seen other stories like this where they're out in the woods and something happened in their car. You know what it was? The last time I saw something like this with multiple people in it was when it was one of those like off-road vehicles. They were stuck in the mud and their exhaust was in the mud and it was getting pushed back into the car or something and nobody realized it. And they were stuck there with the engine running and it ended up taking their lives. This, I don't know exactly how this would happen unless somebody put a hose, or is there some other way that a car could have some sort of hole in a part of it to where it goes back up into the car? Or if somebody walked up and put a potato in their exhaust, like how does that actually happen? How does that happen? It says later that morning, deputies found the body of the missing Marine, along with those of the 2 other Marines inside the vehicle. So apparently one of them people were worried about. Autopsy performed Wednesday by the Office of North Carolina Medical Examiner revealed all the perishings were due to carbon monoxide poisoning, Bender County officials said. No further details or circumstances of their perishings were given. The men were identified by the U.S. Marine Corps Tuesday as Tanner J. Kaltenberg, rest in peace and thank you for your service, of Madison, Wisconsin. Merrick C. Dockery, rest in peace and thank you for your service. And Ivan R. Garcia, 23 years old. All these guys were super young, had a whole life ahead of them, of Naples, Florida. Thank you for your service and rest in peace. All three were motor vehicle operators with Combat Logistics Battalion 2, Combat Logistics Regiment 2, and 2nd Marine Logistics Group. It says the vehicle they were in was privately owned. Garcia had been on active duty the longest of the three, entering service in 2019. So basically almost 4 years. And Dockery entered 2020, and Kaltenberg entered in 2021. So I wonder where these guys actually served, where they have been. Did they get pulled out, or were they just here doing things? Were they stationed here? Did they ever go into any kind of action anywhere? And I wonder where, if anything. Just, curious questions, and I'm sure some of the family members do too. For the family, I am so sorry for your loss. And again, there's nothing anyone will be able to say to you to really make up for this. And I'm praying for you and your families and for these boys, and I hope they are up in heaven. And then China Air Force showcases hostage rescue operations at an open day event. Now, this is actually from the Global Times. So this is from China's side. And what's crazy is the actual pictures, it's got a bunch of videos and stuff, but I will try to click through. The reason I'm showing this is not only do I usually try to check out the other side of the coin, I usually try to see what, RT says about stuff, Global Times says about stuff, but a friend of mine who is active duty said that they got information that China was practicing evacuating important people. And this comes out. And this was like yesterday morning, saying that they're doing this. And it looks like they're doing urban training, taking people out of buildings and things like this. And they were doing these things in the next 5-6 days. Then this came out. And this came out on Global Times. It says China Air Force showcases hostage rescue operations at an open day event in Changchun. It says that the People's Liberation Army Air Force Open Day event opened in Changchun, Jilin Province, Northeast China. The event featured a demonstration of hostage rescue operations by the Airborne Air Assault Detachment using the Z-10K armed helicopters and Z-20K transport helicopters. Now, it's very, let me see if I can go to the original here without too many things popping up. If you look at this, the one thing is there have been these very strange drills happening in China where they are actually doing things that make it look kind of like Jade back in 2015, when you had events where they were practicing, and even the actors or the hostages, the whatever that are playing a part of this, are essentially, from this person's information, pretending to be people here. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if this is the same. I know that they were saying that this is what they think they're doing. They're basically having people pretend to be us and doing drills on that. Now, that could be normal drills. That could be something that obviously we may do something like that. They war game and simulate pretty much everything. So if they are doing stuff with people basically pretending to be Americans or whatever else, I wouldn't be surprised by that. They have drills in the desert hitting exact replicas of our naval ships in the same size, same everything, and flying by and destroying them and mock sinking them. You also have drills of them doing mock kind of invasions of the Taiwan capital with an actual replica of the Taiwan capital. You have all sorts of events and different island hopping exercises that their enemy is us in their simulations. And these are live fire, drills and exercises. So I just thought that this was interesting. So it may want to get to know the colors. Also, just something that makes me think about is the how Mike Minahan said that we're going to war with China by 2025, and that Mike Minahan said that, basically sent a memo out to all of his under people, and then said that we're get ready for war with China by 2025. Then, just a few months later, he ended up made a decision to essentially take off the identifying numbers on almost all of the air transport cargo kind of division that he's in charge of. So he is actually in charge of the section of the military that moves things around the world and moves cargo around. All of their big cargo planes, everything else, they were removing identifying numbers off of them. If that isn't shady, then I don't know what is. But it makes me think of just the kind of timeline where this is moving and then how things are kind of shaping up. Meanwhile, most people are pretty much focused on UFOs and the same information that, News Nation had on a month ago or whatever. But yeah, and then speaking of 2025, will the Gulf Stream really collapse by 2025? Thank you, by the way. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that made it. And I realize it's a little bit later than usual. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you for everybody that dropped an M in the chat. Thank you, Ilea. Nice to see you. Lizzie May Be Dizzy is here. Thank you, guy. Louis Trimposh. Thank you. Stephanie Cook and Kay Parker Frazier. Thank you, guys. Looks like we have a good crew down there. So, and mind you, we take everything with a grain of salt. And there has been talk about the end of the Gulf Stream. It says the Gulf Stream is a system of warm ocean currents, could collapse as early as 2025, a scientific study has warned. So think about that. That is in the next 2 years. There are different parties stating that our Gulf Stream would collapse or partially collapse by 2025. Now, immediately everybody steps back and goes, oh, that's a bunch of BS. And it maybe is. In fact, this is even questioning it. But at the same time, just with that little tiny kind of benefit of the doubt, if it's not from what they say it is, which is the warming and the great change, they also relate it to an ice age. What if there is something that is happening that's cyclical, that is about to happen, and they know about it and we don't? Would it be why the elites are building huge bunkers under all of their houses? Why they're trying to get off Earth? Why they're trying to go to Mars? Why they're trying to set up on the moon? I don't know, but let me know. I'd love to hear your opinion in the chat below. It says the end of the system which drives the Atlantic's currents and determines Western Europe's weather would probably lead to lower temperatures and catastrophic impacts. I'll say catastrophic impacts. But leading scientists have reservations about the study, say it is not established science. And what's funny is you hear a lot about this kind of whole subsection of people protesting things, that it's not established science. Science is usually something that is done, experimented, repeated, and try to get the same result, right? Not a lot of these things are. It is far from certain the system will shut down this century, they say. The most recent assessment by the Intergovernmental Panel on the Great Change concluded that the system, known as the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, would not in fact collapse so quickly. The latest study author, Professor Peter Ditlevsen at the University of Copenhagen, told BBC News that the other scientists had warned about the potential for the collapse of the AMOC. It says there's been worries that this current is weakening for as long as we have had measurements of it, since 2004, he said. The AMOC is a complicated set of currents that bring warm water north towards the pole, where it cools and sinks. But as global temperatures rise with the great warming, fresh water is pouring into the AMOC from the melting Greenland ice cap and other sources. If it collapses, it could lower temperatures by up to 10 to 15 degrees in Europe and lead to rising sea levels in the eastern U.S. It would disrupt rain that billions rely on for agriculture. So think about this, no matter how it happens, no matter how you think it happens or whatever makes it happen, if this does happen, think about this. They're essentially saying that this would affect agriculture. What have we seen here in the U.S.? We've seen these multiple 5 years in a row where corn isn't growing past their knee. You have all of these farms that are either basically going 2 years in a row with no yields, to the point where they're selling their farms dirt cheap to either an investor from in the East or to somebody like Mr. Gates, who's gobbling up farmland faster than Bill Clinton could eat McDonald's. So again, this is kind of something to pay attention to. Whether you believe how it is happening, it is something that I think is kind of telling. The last time AMOC stopped and restarted was during ice ages about 115,000 to 12,000 years ago. That's a huge range, by the way. The new study published in Nature Communications used sea surface temperature data stretching back to 1870 as a way of assessing the change in the strength of the AMOC currents over time. It estimates that AMOC could collapse between 2025 and 2095. Also, a pretty big range. Either way, they're saying that it's going to collapse. Whatever that does, you're talking about crazy, crazy temperature changes, all that. The analysis is based on greenhouse gas emissions rising as they have done so far. If emissions started to reduce, the world would have more time to keep temperatures below the point which the AMAC would collapse. And I wonder if what next they'll say is immediately you have to restrict yourself from travel and change a huge list of things and get rid of your water heater, your air conditioner, your stove, and your car, and follow all rules applied. Otherwise, the world will end. Don't know, but that's what it sounds like it's doing. Before we move on, real quick, if you do want to protect yourself against an electromagnetic pulse, this is one of our best affiliates as far as I think that this will end up saving lives in the event of either an EMP or a Carrington-level event from the sun. This is a device that you can wire into your car with 3 wires, red to red on your battery, black to black on your battery, and green to ground as far as a part of your frame. And then your vehicle is protected against not only EMP, electromagnetic pulse, but also a Carrington-level event from the sun. If another Carrington event happens and it hits us dead on, they say it could wipe out our grid, and they say in the first year we could lose 90% of our population. And that is not because of the physical impact. It would be the impact to our infrastructure. Once we lose water, that is when we start losing everything else. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. What this will do is ground the signal in less than 500 trillionths of a second before it's able to fry your device. And that way you can keep rolling and get home to bug in or get out to bug out. If your car runs when nobody else does, that don't really have to say why that's a good thing. So make sure to go check it out. They also have them for the Flex 1500 solar generators. They also have them for gas generators. They have them for solar systems, motorcycles, boats, RVs, vans, doesn't matter what you got, including home version, which you would want to get put in by an electrician. But once you do, it will protect everything that is plugged in within 250 linear feet from where it is wired in. So that way, when the grid does come back on, or after the EMPs or the CME is done, then you can hook it up to a generator and keep your stuff going. Because a lot of people say, well, what if the power never comes back on? Well, that's what generators are for. And if all of your stuff is fried, then there's really no point. You won't be able to plug it in even if you do have a generator. So again, this is a good thing because everything you have, all of your appliances, electronics, everything will be safe. marfooglenews.com/EMP. It's the same company that has been outfitting agencies like DHS, DOD, and now the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. And they were part of the Department of Homeland Security's EMP resilience report in 2018. That same report told us to have 6 months to 12 months of food as a recommendation. So make sure to go check that out as well. Let's see here. And then Alicia Navarro, Arizona girl found safe in Montana after disappearing in 2019. Glendale Police Department says a girl went missing in 2019 has been found safe out of state after years of searching. During a news conference on July 26, Glendale Police spokesman Jose Santiago announced Alicia Navarro was found safe in Montana. This comes after the department received thousands of leads in the case. Navarro, who was described as a high-functioning autistic teen, left her home in the middle of the night over 3 years ago on September 15th. She was 14 at the time of her disappearance. According to the police, Navarro was reportedly found in a Montana town that is located close to the U.S.-Canadian border. It says, quote, "We are happy, and at the same time, we are hopeful we will be able to supply this family with a little more closure." So her family essentially thought she was gone, perished, kidnapped, whatever, and this person was living in another city, doing whatever. I don't know if this is a runaway case, but it's very sad, but very happy in the end at that same time. Now she is 18, so she could probably stay there. So kind of crazy, and it is good news out of all of the bad news all around us. Thank you, Stephanie Cook. Great late show you did last night, Adam. Thanks bunches. Yes, last night's show was at 12:30 Pacific. So if you missed that show, it was because all yesterday I was updating stuff, downloading drivers for stuff that I don't have on my new computer. So thank you guys for being patient. Let's hear Bunmaster. Hey, nice to see you. How's Bunmaster? Aren't you the one? You said that your daughter had some things going on. Is everything okay, or did you find out? let's see here. When the scriptures say man, quote, men, it means mankind, piercing the veil. Son of Yah, let's see, how do they test the EMP protector? You can actually check it out. It's actually, that is, what is it called? Keystone tested by the military. So they actually do EMPs and the equivalent of CMEs, and they actually tested it over 40 times. But you can check that out on the website. It actually has all of the information, and I believe there's even videos of the tests. So it's pretty crazy. After 41 or 42 times, they were like, this is just overkill. So yeah, go check it out. And again, it's very easy to put in. And then we have Ohio officer fired after letting his police dog attack a surrendering truck driver. I can hear Brian from High Impact Flicks, or I guess now he's got a new channel called, I think it's Here's the Deal. But I can just hear his voice with this, doing a reaction video. Apparently, this Ohio Police Department officer was fired after his police dog was released on a surrendering truck driver, even after state troopers told him to hold the dog back. A statement issued Wednesday by Circleville Police said that Ryan Speakman did not meet the standards and expectations we hold up for our public officers. Police officers, and that he has been, quote, terminated from the department effective immediately. Now, in small print that is non-existent on this, it probably says only to move down the street to a different department, because that's pretty much what happens. If there's a bad cop of any way, and I don't know if this gentleman was or was what the deal with this was, but when they do end up getting fired, they basically go down the street and they get a job somewhere else. It's quite something when it's the bad cops. There's plenty of really good cops out there, which I've debated with Brian from High Impact Flicks, and I think he agrees. There's some good guys out there, good cops and bad cops. But when you get the bad ones, it's really bad. But mostly, I think that most guys aren't like this. It says the town's civilian use of force review board looked into the episode. It found Speakman did not violate department policy when he deployed the dog. Wednesday's police statement said, adding that the review board doesn't have the authority to recommend discipline. But yet he is fired because people were pretty up and loud about it. And then Mitch McConnell escorted away from cameras after freezing during a news conference. So this was... I'll let you guys judge for yourself here. Real quick, let me see here. Let me turn this on. I'll let you judge for yourself. It honestly looks like somebody and I'm not insulting. This is not an insult. It honestly looks like he's getting older. I don't know what happened here, if it's heat stroke or dementia or something.
Of course,
he just kind of freezes. And even the gentleman behind him basically just gives this face like, yeah. And then people are asking questions. People are waiting. And again, if there's context to this. If there's something like somebody said something that was super messed up, or something that sticks out afterwards, he's basically handled. Look at the way they're handling him. Okay. So maybe heat stroke, maybe something. If it's not just general, he's being old and he's having a brain fart. This looks like somebody who's getting help from their caregiver. Okay, that's just my honest opinion. I'm not trying to insult the guy, but this guy is also the same one that gets up there and says whatever, he toes the line, whatever that line is. Look at that. So they may tell us, and maybe it's because he got a certain thing that I didn't get, and nobody else I know got, but maybe it's because of something like that. I don't know. Or maybe heat stroke or something else is going on, or he had a heart attack right there, and people should feel ashamed for themselves. I'm sure they'll tell us something, right? But who knows? What do you think it was? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's see here. Thank you, by the way, Top Shelf LLC. We've got Cylon Killa. We've got Leroy Fox, Dale Thompson, Cryptic. Hey, nice to see you, Cody Theater. We got 3,000 in the house. Thank you guys for coming to this show. I appreciate you guys. I'm running solo, so it's been a while since I did everything on my own, and it was a lot of work getting my new computer caught up to my old computer. My old computer had everything set up, so I didn't have to do anything, but it is so slow, it wouldn't even work. So thank you guys. And then the CIA threat to China is real. Now this, again, is something where I got this from RT. I always try to look at what they're saying as well. And there are some things that I thought were pretty interesting in this. It says the CIA threat to China is real, so why is it being dismissed? It says the U.S. has admitted that it is restoring its spy network in Beijing, but any efforts against it will likely be dubbed paranoia by a political analyst. Recently, CIA Director William Burns said that the U.S. was working on, quote, rebuilding CIA networks in China. The comments came after the Chinese state had successfully purged the presence of the CIA from its upper echelons in the previous years. It says making it difficult for the all-seeing eye to decipher the intentions of China's leadership. So does anybody believe that? First of all, CIA William Burns has been traveling and meeting with several, the highest of the high land. And it's always odd because wherever the CIA director goes, something magically happens. It's just very, very odd. It says, despite this, any talk of what the CIA, quote, does in China never truly covered by the mainstream media, and those who report it are often dismissed as fringe or conservative theorists. It says, similarly, China's warning of external forces manipulating its politics is also never taken seriously, and moreover, any arrest by China on charges of espionage are also dismissed as illegitimate and politically motivated. So is the CIA there or is it not? Now, wherever this is coming from, a good question to ask is, what does the CIA do with China? And is there some behind the door high-fiving for this whole plan that's going on? As far as we can see that almost every country kind of got on the same page back in 2019, and there were some very, very strange things happening. Also, if they knew all of these different things and they covered for each other and helped each other out, and then at the same time while publicly basically acting like they're enemies, it's kind of disturbing. Either way, is this whole thing, and many people are saying that they are going to war very soon. People on China's side say that China's not going to take it anymore and they're going to go to war and take Taiwan, Guam, Japan, and even Hawaii. And you have people on the U.S. side saying that we're going to go to war with them. Is it some sort of plan so that everything can be restructured through a massive war? We're talking about World War III. We're also not talking about the end of the world. In my opinion, it is the start of a new one under one umbrella. And I think that it almost looks as if everyone at the top echelons of this thing is already prepared for it. They might even have their seat at the table of whatever table it is and whoever is running that table. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And then this I picked out because this is just funny. Popular backdoor donuts in Martha's Vineyard defends itself against complaints of rowdy customers. Popular backdoor donuts in Martha's Vineyard defends itself against complaints of rowdy customers. Accusations of rowdy late-night customers at a popular Martha's Vineyard donut shop has the shop owners on the defensive this week. Business representatives for Backdoor Donuts in Oak Bluffs responded to a noise complaint during Tuesday's select board meeting. Now, you could roll with a meme on this one, what that noise is, but again, this is just kind of funny. Backdoor Donuts is getting noise complaints, and it's in Martha's Vineyard. It says that during the meeting, they both explained how problems tend to surge during their later business hours from 7 p.m. to midnight in their parking lot in Kennebec Avenue, where people buy the donuts. Normally, the lines are filled with the maximum amount of customers, which is 28 people, according to Doyle. In an effort to make the lines go more quickly, Backdoor Donuts has signs throughout the lines with a QR code so people can order online. The select board also suggested bakery firmly directs customers to the front door when there are a lot of customers in the back parking lot. Sorry, we have a visitor. You get this. You guys haven't seen this one in a little bit, but this is the bobtail. And this was the kitten I showed you a month ago. It's getting way big. But it is very cute. We just call it Bob. He's very cute. Hey. The white one's really pretty, if you guys remember that. Anybody that watched that show where I showed all four of them? Two of them found homes, and then two of them are still with us. Anyways, and then I just went and by the way, just look past it. What is the symbolism of a place in Martha's Vineyard where all of these extremely, extremely uppity people are? Backdoor Donuts. Is this like one of these Poe and Dest and kind of places? I don't know. But I just thought that was very interesting. And then Sinead O'Connor, Irish singer, perishes aged 56. I actually saw her this morning. They said she was 60. But again, aged 56, younger. We're seeing a lot of that lately. For fans of Sinead O'Connor, I'll just tell you my honest opinion of the age I grew up on, watching, like when I was 12, 13, watching Beavis and Butthead, they would make fun of Sinead O'Connor all the time. SNL made fun of Sinead O'Connor. But there were a lot of fans for her music. I was never personally a fan. I only knew about her because she, was the constant kind of butt of a joke on SNL or Beavis and Butthead or something else. But she ended up perishing. One thing I ask is why so many folks in their prime are perishing. Not to mention, this is not on the docket, but it's something, of course, they are basically calling out anybody that questions this pond incident that just happened a couple days ago with the former president's cook. And I just think it's very crazy, the stuff that's coming up. So make sure to follow me over on Twitter to find out more. Lots of crazy stuff going on there, and I'm going to be retweeting some of the crazier stuff that I've seen that I thought was actually pretty solid. Again, we're independent here. If you do want to support us, make sure to also go check out, if you want to back yourself up, go to marfuglenews.com/energy and make sure to use the code Marfoogle. Personal recommendation, if you want something that's an all-in-one and that is pretty much set up from the get-go as a UPS and is on a giant sale right now, make sure to go over and check out the Kodiak X2. This company now just won a huge contract with the U.S. Army, the SBIR Phase 2 contract. So they are actually going to be using their Flex Tactical, their most tactical unit yet, in the Army. So these are really cool. That one was actually designed with the Air Force Research Laboratory. And then the X2, which has the new lithium ion phosphate technology, can hook up to solar panels to get unlimited power, or it can be charged from your wall while you do have power, for that power to be then stored and on demand. These can be dual linked to double their capacity and to double their output. So make sure to go check them out, marfuglenews.com/energy, INERGY, and make sure to use the code Marfoogle, because not only are you going to get our special discount, well, they still have these in stock, there's a 15% discount on the remaining units. Again, that is while supplies last, so make sure to get them before that runs out. That is a huge discount on lithium, anything, because it is in such high demand and in low supply right now. So definitely want to go over while they have something like that going. And then let's see here. And it supports us. We're completely independent. We don't have a multi-channel network, so we appreciate everybody supporting us. And then, of course, this week it's just me. So everything you see here, I have to do from morning to night. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I miss Dex. So thank you guys. And thank you again, Michael Thompson, doing a great job, Solar Brother. Hey, thank you. Well, it's like the old days, and it is nice having help. That's for dang sure. Chuck Norris, thank you to the mods. Thank you, Nana of Montana, for coming. I thank all of the OG Foogle fam for coming. This, again, is a shorter show today, so I hope you guys appreciated it, and thank you, everybody that popped in. How did you like the shorter format? Let me know in the comments down below. And, of course, thank you over on DLive, and I appreciate all of you. Last night, I was not able to see any of you. Thank you, Kiki Gray, Michelle K, DFW Jackie, Bugnana, Poca Loco, Zenato 19, Beer Juice, Aunt Jenny, Biblical Smackdown, Scooby Doo Do Right, Kimbria, Zenato 19, Poca Loco, and Priscilla R. And I hope I did not forget anything. Okay. So before that, before we go, the UFO, the UAP hearing. Now, many people probably already know about this because it's all over the place, but I did want to point out that they essentially said the same thing, that we have non-human stuff, and people are basically recycling that as if there's now confirmation. The whistleblower basically talked to Congress, they got it on record, and they made a big deal out of it. Meanwhile, while they're doing that, the judge on the Hunter case basically asked, is there any other investigations going on about the president's son? And they said yes. So that was the big kind of brand new news that happened today. And they said that we are not going to do the plea deal just yet. The plea deal, if Hunter gets this plea deal that minimizes his sentencing and minimizes all this stuff, then it could actually prevent him and kind of, I think it's a double jeopardy thing or something, and I could be wrong on that, but it would prevent him from receiving other charges from stuff that is regarding that laptop. So very crazy. I will update you on this tomorrow and get more information put together on it. But that's the basic gist of it. And most of you just want to get the basic gist and move on. So thank you guys. I appreciate all of you. It is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. Thank you, BOD, and KT Cleans a lot. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you again for everybody that's popping in. Nana of Montana, thank you for supporting Independent, and thank you for being an awesome OG Foogle fam for now years. Thank you, Nana, and I appreciate your support. Thank you, guys. Love ya. And Jag says, Sinead took the... Again, have a good night, and be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. Or she didn't. Who knows? Tonight's top supporter is Nana of Montana. Thank you so much for your support tonight. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. I say on the phone, on the fire, on the back, and I'll be right. I with the KT Cleans a lot. Nana of Montana, Nana of Montana, Nana of Montana. we got the. Is it the? No, it's not this one. Nope. Is it 4-7?
Hey, I think I see patient 0.
Nope.
Hey, I love you with a one.
Nope.
I was getting ready for the Armageddon family now. I will tell you what I didn't deal and exactly how. I was Google News, a window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong, lips wrong, lips wrong. Side of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Looking outside of my window.
All right, let's see. Let's do a new one for Nana of Montana. Hey, I said it now of Montana. I went in Montana. Everybody, go game on the Mama Jamma. Mama Jamma. Hey, Nana of Montana. One bad Mama Jamma. Hey, Nana of Montana. One bad Mama Jamma. Hey, Nana of Montana. One bad Mama Jamma. Nana of Montana. One bad Mama Jamma. Hey, with the Nana of Montana, it's a bad Mama Jamma. Everybody gonna go with the bar jamma. A good night, have a good night. Everybody gonna do it with the good fight. I said that I'm back with the Nana of Montana. I want Mama Jamma. I said, baby mama. I said the mama. I said the mama. Let's make no 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 Hey, we the fly on the boat. I see you on the way up. Hey, I with the love in the mind. I bring with the food fine. It's sweater in the day right here. Thanks for all the fun and it's near. Captain O'Connor and a beat Ragsdale. David and a Joshua and it's Dale. Stay on back with it, Sully's world. Die on with Locke and the girl. Lizzie may be dizzy in it, oh no. Wages world, wages world, wages world, wages world, wages world. No, 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 no. Of Montana. With a Bobby Brown and a Danish girl and a women now. I said I won't not back with it back in the day. Everybody gonna beg it from the way. Hey, oh, I said no back. I said the baby I wanna break around and on me day. Hey, whoa now. I said the bone the back like a Rona. No more now. Hey, now. Bring it back down. I know. So, good comment. Somebody says, what do you call it? No alien talk today. So we covered exactly what those whistleblowers said so many times it's not even crazy. Personally, everything that was said today, there was nothing new. Not that I saw. Besides, it was more momentum that, oh, it's real. But we actually covered the exact statements on the News Nation one. So, again, it's more one of those, like, they got a side distraction. It's a side distraction. I said a side distraction. Meanwhile, Hunter isn't. I'm biting, and then I just biting time, and now I'm whining about a sentence. I go out now, they do. I go in the White House. Hey, I bring it out. I do the one master in the Raymond night it out. I say the bomb dibby, bomb dibby, bomb dibby, oh. Hey, I with a Mr. Bean. The kitty cleans a lot in the Mr. Scene. I gotta make a magazine with a Ryan Oster and the WIS can never falter. I said Bubba on the one, Captain R, a pompona and a cabin girl, and the Carol and the Pam Pam heart, bing and my part, and the bing bing down and down. Danish on the girl, I think I'll put it whip on your whip, Bubba, I wait, wait. Celtic warrior, up big on my oar, oh, the 50 back the back way. Tama tear, up a 7 and a cheesecake. Don't let me up, but number heaven, up a hey. I with a Christy Wolf and I need a Taurus. Boom, 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 baby, boom, boom, baby, baby, dum, dum, baby, boom. Boom, boom, baby, boom, boom, baby, dum, dum, baby, boom. Boom, boom, baby, boom, boom, baby, dum, dum, baby, boom. Bum bum. Dum 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 bum. Bum dum dum bum 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 dum 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 bum dum dum bum 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 dum dum bum dum bum da bum 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 dum dum. That's funny. Somebody said my shouters are cringe. Well, hopefully you'll stick around long enough to where I finally get good and they're not cringe. I wish that wasn't deleted. Because again, what's funny is I make these from scratch literally in 10 seconds. I never claim they're good. They are fun though. And I hope you have a fun day too. I also don't sell them. I also don't sell them. Never going yellow. Bring them on the bag now. Hey, now McClellan. McConnell. Everybody on no. Everybody doing in the bag now. No. Hey, 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 Num, 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 everybody pump it. Whoa, whoa. I dare carry and the baby jumping, joy with a W-A-S and nothing down. Dibby dibby dum dum dum. Have a good night, guys. Be safe, be prepared. Marfoogle.